Curtis, and welcome to the show. Got one I think you're really going to love today. Pasta with love. I'm going to share that with you on today's episode. Also, I've got a clip of Mama, another clip of my mother. Anyway, let's go inside and do some cooking. Remember, spread love. Thanks for watching. Prepping these tomatoes. I want you all to take a look at Mom in her prime when she made a guest appearance down in Los Angeles. Grandmother's cooking.
Continues with some down-home Southern cooking from the grandmother of 12. Now, her grandchildren call her Sweet Mama. She's Laura Belle Aikens. Hi, Laura Belle.
How you doing?
Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Oh, a hug from the
Thank
Laura
you for
Belle.
having me.
Now, you still cook dinner for 20 every Sunday, is that right?
Every Sunday.
And who are the 20 that come for dinner?
All my kids, but Curtis. And when Curtis is in town, he's there too.
Oh, yeah?
After church on Sunday, everybody gathers at Mom's house to have dinner.
Now, don't you ever get sick of it?
No, I love it. I love cooking for my children. I love taking care of my kids.
Yeah, it's all about families,
It's
isn't it?
That's it.
That's my mama. Loved her then, loved her now, always will. Love you, Mama. You're the best. All right, it's time for our mushroom. Now, these are those gorgeous shiitake mushrooms. And, you know, a lot of people don't wash mushrooms. The domestic mushrooms, the white button, I do wash them. However, the shiitake and a lot of the exotic mushrooms like the chanterelles that we're going to be using today, these are totally organic, 100% organic. So I'm not worried. I know these were grown on an oak log, so I'm not worried about the things that mushrooms, farm-raised mushrooms are grown in. And I'll let you do your own research about that, or you can, send me an email and I'll share it with you. chef@curtisaikens.net is my email. And I'm just going to wipe these off. If there's any, see how that just wipes off? It's just... And I'm going to show you the chanterelles. This mushroom is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Looks like a little trumpet horn, huh? Or even a bugle, right? Or what's that thing? What's the one called, the big one? Now, the shiitake, I'm going to... Now, you see the straw. These were all grown out in the wild. A little straw there. So what I do is I really pick this kind of things out. I pull those away. And the truth be told, they're not going to hurt you if you do eat one or two. You may just get a little crunch that you weren't expecting. Isn't that a gorgeous mushroom? Now, I'm going to chop the shiitake. I want to get a nice little straight cut. And this mushroom, if you want to do something incredible on the grill, olive oil in the gills there, just olive oil and your favorite seasoned salt, and then grill them upside down. Oh my goodness. Now, what I'm going to do is just a nice little small slice there. I want to get them as thin as possible. It's okay if they're thicker. And we're going to saute these in a pan and just set them aside, because I don't want to put this in the pan as we're adding this, making our sauce, because when the shiitakes are sauteing, they release some liquid, some oil, oils, their flavor, and it can be a little too bitter if you cook it in with everything else. So cook it on the side and let that bitterness cook out. But if you cook it in the pan with everything else, that bitterness is absorbed by the other ingredients in your sauce, in your puttanesca. Okay, now this is not puttanesca. This is a puttanesca type sauce with, but this is a love sauce for the Dalai Lama. Now, when it comes to the chanterelles, I'm not going to chop them. What I'm going to do is just take my time and tear these, right? Now, look how that just tears. I just want to rip these apart. It's like shredding pork, right? Now, look at that. They come out apart so well. And also, when you do it like this, you can really see all those little pieces that need to come out, right? That feel, that textile, that, when you're cooking, feel is a part of it, right? So take your time. And I'm just going to rip these up, just shred these up. And then we're going to get started in at the stovetop after I get all these mushrooms ready. Yep, everything is prepped up. We've got our herb de Provence, and we'll talk more about mushrooms as we are cooking them. Okay. This recipe, pasta with love. I'm not going to say it's my favorite recipe. It's in my top 100. I do enjoy every recipe I cook. Now this one used quite a bit of butter. Right here I've got about 1.25 sticks. I may not use all of it. However, don't be surprised if I do. Remember, as Mama would say, and Julia Child, well, Mama would say, butter makes it better. Julia would say, butter is actually fabulous to use. I miss you, Julia, and of course I miss you, Mama. Let's go ahead and get started here. All right, so let's check our pasta. I've gone ahead and turned it off because it's cooked for about 20 minutes. And yes, it is past al dente. And I know a lot of my chef friends are going to say, Curtis, what are you doing? But remember, what you like may be different than what others like. Yeah, now look, that's nice and soft. It's going to absorb that sauce even better. Let that cool a bit before I chomp into it. Place a lid back on here so that it stays nice and warm, because our sauce is going to won't take that long to get prepared. Great thing about cooking when you're cooking meat free is you don't have to worry about undercooking anything. So what I'm going to do here, we'll start with butter. Let the butter melt in the pan, and these are those mushrooms. So let's get that butter melted. I'm going to add to that some olive oil. I can find my olive oil container. It's trying to hide from me there. I'm going to add a bit of olive oil, again, to raise that smoking point. I'm going to add the shiitake first. I'm going to let those saute until they are nice and soft. And remember, the reason we do this is because the shiitakes, as they're cooking, the liquid they reduce is a bit bitter, okay? And I don't want that bitterness to roll over into our sauce when we start to cook those sweet onions and carrots and tomatoes. Or do you say tomato? I'm gonna let those cook. Take your time there. I'm not gonna season these at all. The seasoning will come in when we get the full sauce together. I will add more butter when we add the chanterelles. We're just gonna let those cook for a bit, okay? Now look at that, the mushrooms. You see how the liquid is a little darker. Yes, the butter makes it dark. However, the brownness and the liquid being released by the shiitake mushroom makes it even darker. So I'm gonna get a little closer on that pan so you can see. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and make a little well in the middle of the mushrooms. Push these to the back, push these to the side, and we're going to add a little more butter. And when I say a little butter, I say a lot of butter. Let me get my butter knife here. We're going to add a little butter to the middle of that. And we're going to add our chanterelle mushrooms next. Now look at that. Oh, aren't those gorgeous? I just love this mushroom. And I'm using a smaller saute pan for these. I'm just going to turn these over. Again, no seasoning. And I just wish you could smell my kitchen right now. Whoops, did I not break that up enough? Oh, look at that, I forgot to break that up. So let's go ahead and tear this one more. Those little shreds, just little shreds. Shredded mushroom, just like shredded pork we made a couple weeks ago. For those of you who missed the 20th year anniversary of NCTV, this is the recipe I prepared. And you can go to the website, the NCTV, and I think we also have it at Marin TV as well. You could be able to watch that that demo. And just a little more olive oil. And look at that. Aren't those gorgeous? We're going to set these to the side while we make our sauce. Does not take long. Let's bring our larger saute pan up to make the rest of our sauce, okay? Again, we're going to start with butter and a bit of oil. The pan is heating up nicely, so we'll add our butter. And again, I've got my stick there ready to rock. Add a little more butter. Let that get, yeah, those you go, oh no, that's too much fat. Please remember, you're going to serve this to 3 or 4 people, so, and up to 6. So remember, you're going to break that down. You're not going to eat all this butter yourself. Add a little olive oil to raise that smoking point. The smoking point is the temperature at which things start to, smoke. All right, let it get nice and hot. Now these are sweet onions that we're using. This is the Granite X, that Texas Giant. And again, I love all the sweet onions. Don't get me wrong. And yes, I'm partial to the Vidalias because they are from Georgia. Just going to add our onion right there. Just scrape all those into the pan. And I want you to take your time right here. Don't be in a rush. You know, we're cooking for the people we love. And I want you to let these start to brown. Just when they start, a little bit of that brownness starts to come out. That's the natural caramelization. All that beautiful sugar, the sweetness. And, you know, the idea behind this was love. And because of the love that the Dalai Lama pours out with his work, you know. So I wanted to do something that really just showed that. Now, originally when I prepared the recipe, I made it with what was like it was called a nest, a little nest of pasta. You can buy the little knots of pasta, and that's what this was in, almost like you know, a bird's nest with love. So just take your time, saute these onions. You see the brown start to break on the outside there. It takes about 3 to 7 minutes. We'll just look at that. The sugar's starting to come out. Now we're going to add our carrots next. I'm just going to turn those in so you can see this. So turn that so you can see the carrots go in. Right there. Get all the carrots in there. Just kind of one of the good things about using a scraper, so you get all of that good carrot out of there. That's one. Remember, that's one large carrot we used. Okay. Scrape all that out. And again, I want you to take your time. I'm going to add some more butter. We want all that beta carotene, all those vitamins to come out in this dish. And then that natural sugar that is in those carrots. Was it Bugs Bunny, the one that loved carrots? I'm going to mix the onions and the carrots. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick of mine. We're going to place the lid on to help release more moisture from the carrots and the onions. Now you see the steam in there? That's all that flavor is going to stay right in the pan. Gonna let those cook for a few minutes. Okay, let's sneak a peek at our carrots. Now I'm going to lift this lid off. You see all that liquid that stays in there? That's that flavor. I don't want to lose that. That's why I put the lid on. Oh, now look how the onions are starting to take on that color of those carrots, the beta carotene, all that gorgeous vitamin A coming out. Oh, bonito, beautiful. I'm going to add just a little salt. And I'm using kosher salt here. Some pepper. And I'm going to add my first bit of herbe de Provence. And with me, I feel like you can't add too much. Now look at that. All those beautiful spices, little anise seed. There's sage. There's dill. There's just gorgeous. Gonna sprinkle that throughout our dish. At the demo last week, a person came up to me afterwards and said, "Wow, Curtis, I'm so glad you used the herb de Provence. I used to cook with it so much when I was a younger person, and I just forgot how great it was. And I want to share it with my kids." You know, she was, I believe, from Provence, south of France, where this came from, right? And we're going to turn that over. I'm going to place the lid on. Again, take your time. Don't rush this or any dish you're making. We can add the mushrooms now. Okay, those cooked mushrooms with the butter and the love that's in there. Gonna go in, gonna mix those in with the carrots and the herb de Provence, salt, pepper. Last thing we're gonna add, I'm gonna turn these a bit. We're just going to add our tomatoes. We're gonna let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. What do you think? Do you like this? We're going to add our tomatoes there. I've never tried to make this dish with frozen tomatoes. I may try just to see how it works out, because, you know, if you had a large tomato harvest this year, this would be a great dish to prepare. And I didn't de-seed or peel these. Now what I'm going to do is put the lid on this just to keep all of that liquid in there. A little more salt, some pepper. Well, this week I have run a little bit long, too much talking and prepping. So I'm going to plate this up, we'll taste it, and I'll show you the tips that we missed Pasta with
next
love.
week.
Enjoy. Remember, you prepare your noodles the temperature at which you love it, okay? As well as texture and softness. I do like mine past al dente. I think you're going to love this dish if you give it a try, okay?